Hi, I'm Jim.
And I'm Becca.
And we are professional Englishists. Today we're going to continue our discussion on comma usage. If you missed the previous video on dependent and independent clauses, click here to watch that. This week we're going to be discussing restrictive and non-restrictive elements.
So, you may have been taught that you always use a comma in front of which, but never in front of that. But that's not necessarily the case. You always use a comma when introducing non-restrictive elements, and you don't use a comma when introducing restrictive elements. This is what we'll talk about in today's video.
In broad terms, a restrictive element is a group of words added to an independent clause that is essential to the sentence's meaning, often by using that. For example, in the sentence, Olivander is the wand maker that sold Harry his wand. That sold Harry his wand is an essential part of the sentence. While Olivander is the wand maker is an independent clause, the entire purpose of this sentence hinges on his definition as being the specific wand maker that sold a wand to Harry. That's why it's called a restrictive element. It doesn't require a comma because it is essential to the understanding of the sentence.
Conversely, a non-restrictive element is a group of words added to the sentence that, while it adds information, it does not necessarily add to the general meaning of the sentence. It's usually preceded by the word which. For example, in the sentence, Hagrid took Harry to Diagon Alley, which is where the students buy their supplies. Which is where the students buy their supplies is a non-restrictive element. It's not necessary to the purpose of the sentence that Hagrid is taking Harry to Diagon Alley. It's just additional information that is nice to know. Therefore, it needs a comma so that readers are aware that it is an element of the sentence set apart from the necessary information.
The same rule applies when restrictive and non-restrictive elements are used as adjective clauses in the middle of the sentence, such as in this sentence. Harry's wand, which has a phoenix feather core, is very special. Harry's wand is very special is the relevant statement. The additional information that it has a phoenix feather core, while interesting, is not essential and therefore non-restrictive.
However, in this example, the train that takes students to Hogwarts is called the Hogwarts Express. The train is called the Hogwarts Express, while a perfectly fine sentence on its own carries an entirely different meaning when that takes students to Hogwarts is added to it, making that part of the sentence essential to the meaning, and therefore restrictive, which means a comma is not needed.
If you misuse the commas in these sentences and change the that's to which to keep them correct, the meaning of the sentences would change completely. Harry's wand that has a phoenix feather core is very special, suggests that Harry has multiple wands, but the special one is the one that has the phoenix feather core.
And if we do the same to the other sentence, we get the train, which takes students to Hogwarts, is called the Hogwarts Express. Here, it sounds like there is only one train. We no longer have to identify which one, and the relative information is the name of the train. The fact that it takes students to Hogwarts is now just additional information.
If you don't have a pronoun, such as that or which, to set off the group of words that you are using to add information to the sentence, you have an adjective phrase rather than a clause. These are a bit harder to spot, but the rules remain the same. In this example, Hufflepuff House has a common room located near the kitchens. The purpose of the sentence is to tell the location of Hufflepuff's common room. Therefore, the whole of that statement, including the adjective phrase, located near the kitchens, is essential to the meaning of the sentence, making it restrictive and not in need of a comma.
Alternately, Harry's Firebolt, an incredibly fast broom, helped Gryffindor win quidditch matches, contains a non-restrictive adjective phrase, an incredibly fast broom. This is not essential information to the meaning of the sentence, though it is certainly helpful.
Another common way to add information to a sentence is within a positive. Appositives are like adjective phrases, except they're a noun or pronoun rather than a whole phrase that add information to the sentence. If the information added is not necessary to the meaning of the sentence, it's set off by commas. Like in this example, the third Harry Potter novel, The Prisoner of Azkaban, is my favorite in the series. We don't need the title of the book here, because we've identified which book we are talking about earlier in the sentence. That makes it non-restrictive. If we remove that indication, though, we have the Harry Potter novel, The Prisoner of Azkaban, is my favorite in the series. In that example, we don't need commas, because we have made the appositive restrictive and necessary.
We still have a lot more to talk about when it comes to commas, and we will continue to do so next week. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you feel particularly generous, favorite the video. If you have any comments, questions, or just want to say hi, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.